Greetings once more to all progressive YouTubers, likers, subscribers, followers, and lovers of this progressive channel. I'm hopeful that as we have made these prior presentations to you, we've been able to get available information in terms of understanding what a driver's learners is. So part of our presentation today is that I'm going to be covering general duties and responsibilities that are vested to drivers and passengers whenever they are in the road. So even before I get into the core business of today's presentation, I would like to encourage all of you to like and share our content, because we know that there are people that can see value and exert value out of it throughout there, particularly our target market, which are students and also people outside institutions of higher learning who cannot afford to pay for all these fees that are being charged by driving schools throughout South Africa for information that is otherwise available in the public for public consumption. So as I have mentioned before, that today our presentation is going to be focusing on general duties and responsibilities that are vested on drivers. So we need to remember that these duties and responsibilities are established for one core reason, and that reason is to make sure that we regulate an interaction between road users. We need to make sure that interaction is coordinated and regulated to avoid the possible accidents, collision of cars, and every worst case scenario that can emerge out of using a road uh, without making sure that you use it in the consideration of other people that are using that road. So I'm going to read out 8 of those general duties and responsibilities and make an attempt to explain them in their simple, basic manner that will be able to fathom and understand decisively. The first role, or the first general duty, which is well known by the way that I'm going to explain, is that no driver is permitted to use a communicating device while still driving. So as I've said, this is a general duty vested in every driver throughout South Africa and all parts of the world, that you cannot use a communicating device while you are still driving. And the core reason why that general duty has been documented in that manner is to make sure that we avoid a situation whereby a driver will use a communicating device, because that will lead in a situation whereby there is a collision of cars, that will lead in a situation whereby there are accidents on the road, and that driver will have to be accountable for that. So to avoid that situation or to avoid that scenario, there is this general duty that is vested to drivers, that you cannot use a communicating device while you are still driving. But to use a communicating device, you have to step out of the road, then use it. In that way, there will never be possibilities whereby you are going to collude with other cars, you are going to cause accidents just as a result of using a communicating device. So when you go for a learner's test, that is a general duty and responsibility that you must know by head, so that you can be able to pass in terms of what is required out of this question. So the second rule that I'm going to read out right now is that you are not allowed to leave your vehicle unattended when a handbrake is not set or when a handbrake is not pulled. Now, the core reason again why this rule was documented is out of an understanding that a car can only be fully stationary if a handbrake has been pulled up or has been set. But if a handbrake is not pulled up or has not been set, as a driver, you are not allowed to move out of that vehicle, because there are possibilities that that vehicle is going to move and you are going to cause accidents and collisions, which might result in very bad injuries for other road users, and might also result in the loss of life. So you need to understand this rule by heart and by head if you are going to pass a driver's learner's test in terms of what is required in that test. The third one that I'm going to deliberate on is that you are, as a driver, you are mandated, you are obligated to give right of way into an emergency car whenever it sounds an emergency siren. Now you need to remember that you are using a road And in a road, there might be possibilities that there are cars. And remember that roads are interconnected. A road is leading to this or that road. So you have to drive with that understanding that there are possibilities that there are accidents that have occurred in that particular road that you might be going to, or in that particular road that is interconnected to a road that you are using. So you need to drive with that understanding. When that scenario has happened, usually there will be emergency cars like your ambulances or your police that will sound emergency sirens to indicate that you must give right of way, so that they can be able to give first aid assistance in terms of what had happened in the road that you are heading to, or in a road that is interconnected to the road that you are using. So you need to have that basic understanding also, that you are mandated, you are obligated to give a right of way, regardless of whether you are late, you are going to work, regardless of whether you are late, you are going to see your family, you are going to attend a family dinner, regardless of whether you are late, you are going to attend a school furnishing, or are going to write your examination. But whenever there is an emergency car that has sounded an emergency siren, as a road user and as a driver, you are mandated that you must make sure that you give right of way to that emergency car, because there is an emergency situation ahead that needs assistance in terms of the first aid that can be given by that emergency